Shalom, everybody, and welcome back to Insights in the Parsha of the Week, Parshat Shelach. And it's been an exciting week with the missiles, bomb shelters, the whole world really plutzing over the Jewish people, the Jewish nation, and the Holy Land, and what we're going through. And we see the unity of the Jews out around the world always connected to us because we're all connected, basically. So, in the Parsha, is something very powerful, something very a strong message. And we're going to recap a little. So one of the items of the parsha is the slander against the Holy Land, which was set forth by the 10 of the 12 spies. Two excluded, who remained righteous and did not slander the Holy Land, were Yehoshua ben Nun from the tribe of Ephraim and Kalev ben Yefuneh from the tribe of Judah, of Yehuda. The slanderous spies who came back to slander the Holy Land, they convinced even the Sanhedrin, the head rabbis of the generation, to also be upset and to complain to Moshe Rabbeinu, what did you do to us? You brought us out to kill us. We should die. And then the rest of the Jewish people. And they were decreed. There was a punishment set because of this. Even though Moshe Rabbeinu tried to defend them, still there had to be a punishment set out and met to those who sinned. The verse reads that Hashem says like this. This is chapter 14, the Parsha, verse 29. It says, Bamidbar hazeh, in this desert, because they're on the way to the Holy Land, Yiplu figrechem, your dead bodies, your corpses will fall, V'chol pikudechem lechol misparchem, and all of your numbers of how many you are, Lechol misparchem, whenever you're counted. In other words, which Jews will fall and die? Mi ben esrim shana vamala, from age 20 and up. And it's age 20 to 60, because it was for 40 years. Anyone from 20 will die already at he'll die at age 60. And then anyone who's above that already will die even earlier. It takes 40 years for the youngest to reach 60. That's 40 years maximum. Okay? That's in a later verse that we see that it's 40 days corresponding to 40 years corresponding to the 40 days that the spies traveled the Holy Land. Okay, because you complained against me. I'm trying to do something good for you, the Jewish people, and you complain. Okay, so this is the punishment. So the Midrash, Tanchuma, and the Gemara, Baba Batra, page Kuf Chaf Aleph, 121-2. They go into the details of this punishment, and they say like this, that the punishment was executed to any Jew who's over the age of 20, whether or not he was actually involved in the sin of the slandering and the complaining against Eretz Yisrael. Okay? The Gemara, the Midrash goes on to an amazing detail that people don't know about, because the verse reads, only the children will survive and the elders will survive. So what's a child? A child technically is until the age of bar mitzvah. So the question is, from age 13, bar mitzvah, until 20, what's his case? He's an adult already, technically, according to halacha, according to Torah. A boy reaches bar mitzvah, he's an adult. So what if now you have a teenager who also slandered, who was involved in the slandering? So the Midrash says something amazing. If from the age of 13 to 20, a teenager was involved in the slandering, he also would die under the age of 60. It would take for him to reach 40 years plus, and he would die under the age of 60, believe it or not. And if he was a child under the age of bar mitzvah who was involved, exempt, because a child doing these type of blemishes is considered nothing. He's a child. What do you want from him? But the idea of someone from bar mitzvah 13 to the age of 20, so they would reach like a minimum age 53. 53 is after age 52. 52 is called karet of Shmuel Hanavi. Because Shmuel Hanavi passed away at the age of 52, so it's considered karet. Hashem was careful that no Jew should die before the age of what's called karet. It's a big embarrassment and a big diminishment that a Jew dies before the age of 60. That's why Hashem waited for the age of 60. However, there are exceptions. If they passed already at the age of 52, and from age 53 to 60, it's also considered they passed karet, and there were exceptions of those who died. And don't forget, there were Jews who did not die, including the whole tribe of Levi, the woman, and also Kalev ben Yefune and Yehoshua ben Nun, and the Gemara lists other exceptions of people who didn't die. Okay, the majority from the age of 20. The tribe of Levi did not die in this punishment because they weren't involved in it, and also they're not numbered from the age of 20. Levites are unique, are like a nation, am bifnei atzmam. They're a nation of their own. That their whole numbering starts at the age of 30, or census counting start from 5 years old. Okay, from 5 years old or 5 months old, that the Levites start, and then also age 30 to enter into the work of the Mishkan, but not 20. So the Gemara asks, the commentaries explain, why the age of 20? Why does the Torah say anyone from the age of 20? So the simple reason given is that 20 is when a Jew is judged from the Beit Din of heaven. The Beit Din of heaven can start judging a person, Beit Din Shel Mala, from the age of 20. Beit Din Shel Mata, an actual physical Jewish court, if a teenager at age 13, 14, 15 does a crime that's a death penalty, they can technically execute it from the age of 13. Okay? But in heavenly courts, they don't judge him until the age of 20. Even that also requires explanation. But let's just try to go into this a little on a deeper perspective. What is the age 20? What is the number 20? 20, Rebbe Nachman explains in several places in Likutey Moharan, lesson 6 and lesson 24, that the kaf, which is the letter 20, corresponds to the level called the Keter. We went into this many times already in previous classes. The Keter is called the crown. The Keter represents the highest above all sfirot. The beginning point of the creation starts at the Keter, and it's numerically equal to 20. What's the idea of the connection of Keter and 20? Is that how the Keter brought forth the creation through it is that it channeled energy to all the 10 sfirot below it. So that's 10. But the Keter doesn't stay there. It's like inaccessible. It comes to give energy and then to take off. It leaves. So it goes down to 0, which is the beginning point, Malchut, the lowest of the 10 sfirot, and then goes right back up to the Keter where its location. So 10 plus 10 is 20. That's how we get the number 20. Plus, there's more details. And Keter below Kaf, the Zohar says, Rebbe Nachman quotes the Zohar, that you can't have Keter without the letter Kaf. Simple meaning is, because the word Keter begins with the letter Kaf, so the first letter of any word in the Torah has already a representation of the idea of that word. Even if there's different words that begin with the same letter, they have a similar connection. Here, in the case of Keter, it's Kaf. What's the idea of the Kaf? Rav Shechter explains very beautifully that the letter Chaf is bent. Meaning that in order to connect to the Keter, you need to be submissive. You need to have a bending, not a Baal Gaiva, haughty attitude that I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm perfect and everything. Rather, the opposite, that I feel humbled and bent, and I still have a long way to go. You are worthy to receive the light of the Keter Bezrat Hashem. Okay, so now the Keter is this high level. It affords a person to access. Rebbe Nachman teaches the infinite light. Infinite light translates on a practical level clarity and hope and openings in the most difficult situations which seem hopeless. The Keter affords hope, light, a new beginning, and salvation from the most unexpected situations and scenarios. That's the power of the Keter. That basically there's always hope if you connect to the Keter, no matter what. No matter what the doctors say, no matter what the therapists say, whatever, there's a hope if you connect to the Keter. Okay? The Keter is demanding though, because the way the Keter works in giving off this infinite light is the test a person faces to receive it is a lot of setbacks and pushbacks in life. And those setbacks and pushings going downwards is really a test, how you handle them. If you take them in a positive way, so the pushback, the setbacks become vessels to receive within them the light that you need. But if you take them in the wrong way, take them, there's no hope, it's finished, and Hashem doesn't want me anymore, and I'm just wasting my time, and we just go run after this world and enjoy myself as long as I'm here, as many days I have left in my life. So you lost the test. The main way, Rebbe Nachman explains, Rebbe Nachman elaborates on this in his prayers, prayer 24. The main way to be able to successfully pass the test of the Keter is by giving a retort. The retort comes in the format of ratzon, of a person's yearning. That a person has a setback, and he tells Hashem, all I wanted was just to come close to you. All I wanted in life, the reason why I got all this mess of marriage and the kids and the finances and all the things I'm stuck in now, and trying to be a better person. I just wanted to come close to you, Hashem. And then you push me back like this, but I want to serve you, Hashem. And there's no other choice. And a person just breaks down and cries from yearning, not from depression and sadness, but like a little boy who's crying to his tati, his father, that he wants something. That's the same attitude. That you expressing the ratzon is not a form of depression. It's bringing out the inner yearning, which is how you pass the test. That you give a retort. Not you say, hey, Hashem, I'm upset at you. What are you doing to me? You say, rather, Hashem, I just wanted to come close to you. All this mess I got involved in, because I want you, that's all. When you do that, when you express a retort, okay, so then you win. You're accepted. You pass the test. That's what's needed, okay? With that in mind, the punishment given by Hashem is for people from the age of 20. And the Gemara says clearly, and the Midrash Tanchuma, that even people who weren't involved, who didn't verbally attack Moshe Rabbeinu and Hashem. What did you do to us? You brought us to the desert to kill us. You didn't even bring us to a land of flowing of milk and honey. What is this now? How are we going to fight these giants that they saw? Achiman, Sheshai, Talmai, the sons of the Anak, right? And they say that we're like little grasshoppers in our eyes and in their eyes also. How are we going to win? So you had Jews who weren't verbally involved. But the Gemara says, the Midrash says clearly, they were also punished. They're also punished because it was by the majority. So you might ask, where's that? Is that fair? That someone who stood by didn't say anything. He wasn't attacking Moshe Rabbeinu. He was over 20. Okay, he's over 20. Because he was over 20, he's blamed? What did he do? Where's the justice of Hashem's system? No, the whole generation is punished. We see that's not fair because the tribe of Levi survived. The woman survived, okay? Not everybody over the age of 20 was killed, okay? And now this is like, this is Hebrew haflayot. This is not fair. Hashem's not unfairness in judging people. He didn't say anything, but he's over the age of 20. He dies in the desert after up to a 40-year period. But what did he do? That's the answer. He didn't do anything. You see the people attacking. They saw that. All the Jews, the pasuk says, the whole Eidah was assembled when this slander took place. And they heard what was happening. You choose or to add to the complaining, add to the attack, or remain silent. If you remain silent, that's failing the test. You are expected to at least say something. It says about Kalev and Yehoshua. Both defended Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? Kalev, Vayahas, he got the whole assembly to be quiet because they thought, he's going to add to the slander. Right? Like Rashi says, is that all that Ben Amram, the son of Amram, Moshe Rabbeinu, did for us? So like Rashi says, the person who hears that thinks, they're going to add fuel to the fire. Kalev's going to add fuel to the fire. He says, no, he brought us down the man, the Slav, he split the sea for us, good things, so we can trust him. Even if he tells us to take ladders and climb to the heaven, we'll make it, because Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us. What a greater expression of faith in Moshe Rabbeinu, in the words of the Torah. Okay? Yehoshua Rabbeinu also. Sar tzila me'alem, what are you afraid about? We're going to win these people, the nations occupying the land. Okay, the verse says clearly about Yehoshua and Kalev. The verse reads, verse 38, Yehoshua ben Nun bechalev ben Yefuneh chayu min anashim ahem. They got life, they lived. The pshat is, the simple meaning is, besides what Rashi says, chayu min anashim ahem. Yehoshua and Kalev, they got life from these people who slandered. From the slander of the people, they got life. Why? Because they said something. They said positive. So going back, the people were not guilty. They didn't do anything. They stood by the side, but they weren't involved in the strife against Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron and the slander against Hashem. They were also punished. Why? Because when you're over the age of 20, which is the Keter, and you face the tests and the setbacks of the Keter, in which this was one of them, entering the Holy Land was the greatest test for the Keter, because the Eretz Yisrael is the place which will contain eventually, at that time at least, Yerushalayim, the Beit HaMikdash, the Holy of Holies, the Ark being the channel of the infinite light for the entire world, okay? Entering the Eretz Yisrael would be accessing the infinite light of the Keter. It was a test of the Keter. And there was a setback of the slander. So if you're over the age of 20, you're expected not just to sit back and say nothing like a duck, a sitting duck. You're expected to say something. You're expected to say, if not, because you're scared of the people, they might stone you, like they tried to attack Yehoshua and Kalev, but at least say to Hashem, Hashem, I believe in you. But the verse says everyone is punished. Even people who didn't retort, they weren't openly involved, but they also remained silent, so they were punished. If now they spoke up, they would have been mentioned along with Yehoshua and Kalev. The verse would have read, Yehoshua and Kalev and other Jews who supported them, Chayu minan Hashem. The verse doesn't say that. It says only Yehoshua and Kalev, to show you that all the other Jews over the age of 20, except for the exceptions of the tribe of Levi and the woman, etc., no one, it's not mentioned. It's not mentioned anyone else. So therefore you see that no one else spoke up. And what you expected to do in life is to speak up. It's a big test in life because people feel uncomfortable when they're in situations when the people are there. They don't want that person to scream at them. They want to just be calm. They want to avoid the headache. When you have to say something truthful, don't keep it in. You have to make a retort. You have to mention it. Okay, you have to mention it. Whatever the consequences, you have to now, instead of just like hiding it because you don't want to be, you're afraid of the people, they might say this, say that. Like some, unfortunately, rabbis, they're scared to say something because they might get fired from their job, which unfortunately has been very common in the modern society. Or any other case of people are scared to speak out because they might get punched. But if it's the truth, you have to speak it. You have to say it. So you have to say it. And if you don't, so you get punished also. You get sucked in. You have to say something. And at least in our context, you say something to Hashem. Some people, they say in life, oh, life is difficult. It's just like that. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. So the attitude, nothing you can do, so to be quiet. No. A Jew, when being attacked and you feel you're weighed down, don't accept it. Say, Hashem, look, they're weighing me down. I can't handle this. And again, I just wanted to come close to you. If you remain silent, so they're going to push you down more and more and more and more, and you lost the test. You expected to say something, to retort, like Yehoshua and Kalev. That's why from the age of 20, they were punished. Everyone else was punished. Even people were, like the Gemara says, they were not guilty, they were not involved, they didn't slander, they didn't do any strife, but they remained silent, they were punished. May we be zoche to remember this point, to use the access, the idea of the Keter, by speaking up. If it's to Hashem, if it's the others that have to hear, you have to tell the truth and not to be afraid. Like the Torah says many times, don't be afraid to speak up about the truth. Okay? Hashem is protecting you. You have a shield. For the truth is always the highest level and has the highest protective force. But you have to speak up. You have to say something. If it's to Hashem, to other people, but you have to speak up. Shabbat Shalom, and may we learn this lesson from the spies.